It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. David Roldán Martínez. With 20 years of experience in software system architecture, Dr. Martínez has made significant contributions to the field. He holds a PhD in telecommunications engineering and serves as associate professor at the University Polytechnique de Valencia. In addition to his teaching role, he is also a dedicated researcher at VRAIN, where he is currently working on a second PhD. Dr. Martinez's expertise spans across various sectors, including banking, insurance, and retail. He has a deep understanding of APIs and their applications, as well as strong focus on artificial intelligence and digital transformation. His work in these areas has significantly contributed to advancements in this field. In addition to his professional and academic pursuits, Dr. Martinez is a prolific scientific technical popularizer with over 20 books to his credit. He has a keen interest in personal development and coaching, demonstrating his commitment to fostering growth and learning. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to our distinguished speaker, Dr. David Roldán. And we apologize for his absence. Due to busy schedule, Dr. David was unable to present his live presentation. So he has sent a recorded video to play. My colleague Sandy will share the video. Please follow the video presentation.
Hello, this is David Roldán Martínez, Head of APIs of SymbIAG Admira and researcher at Brain at Universidad Politécnica de Valencia. I'm going to talk you about the SymbIAG framework, which is a framework for AA governance. Let me share my screen and let's start. Okay. Okay, sorry. Now it's here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. As I told you, the main objective of the SymbIAG framework is to provide a framework for collaboration and with the life cycle of the software under development at the core of the framework. This research has been done with the collaboration of Ana Ciudad Vila from Fundación Valgrey and Vicente Botti Navarro, which is the director of Brain. This is what we are going to talk about today. First, I will give you an introduction, then we'll focus on the problem statement that this framework fixes. Then I will tell you how we have approached to the research. I refer to the main challenges we have found when dealing with AA-enabled software development lifecycle. Then, as a result of our research, we have found a list of requirements for managing that kind of software development, and then I will make a brief introduction to the SymbIAG framework and then remark the main conclusions. Let's go. Well, which is the main aim of our framework? What are we going to do? Okay, when you are developing services, you know, software, when you are developing software, I will refer service as the features that are provided by any software. If the software is based in AA, I will refer that as an AA services. Okay, so what we want to do is to manage the life cycle of AA-enabled services for optimizing the impact in the society, which is what we want to do is to be sure that our service are meeting the expectations of the end users. Okay, why Why? Because we have to approach to AI technologies from a systematic and strategic approach. Why? Because this what can only be accomplished with a strategic approach. You know, you have to have an holistic view of the whole context, of the whole landscape, to be able to design a really good approach. Okay, so main principles of the SymbIAG framework. Ethical deployment, which is, okay, you know, which is the discussions that have been around AI in the last years. So this forces us to deploy something that is compliant with regulations, also ethics can be can play a pivotal role in AA services development. So okay, also continuous improvement. Why? Because when you define when you develop a service, if you want to that service to succeed in your market, you have to be continuously improving and watching which are the market trends, what are your users demanding, to be able to develop and to adapt your software to those trends, so that you have to be meeting continuously user expectations, but also in the development, more on the producer part. You have to try to optimize your development processes to reduce cost or to reduce time to market, and to optimize how you are developing the software, not only what features are included into your software. Okay, some challenges we all know for that artificial intelligence is facing nowadays. First is how to address bias and fairness, or also environmental considerations. There are a lot of controversy now about the huge amount of resources that AI needs to work. Also contributors to society, you know, we have to provide a framework to reach sustainable AA, mitigating those adverse environmental impact that I mentioned before. But other important point is that we have to use, or you have to embrace, an holistic approach. Why? Because an holistic approach allows you to incorporate constraints to meet constraints and requirements from very different points of view, so that your software will be more useful, more succeeding, more sustainable. You know, you can optimize your software from different perspectives. So which is our problem statement? What is what we want to contribute to science? You know, this work, the SymbIAG framework, will be focused on researching industrialization on AA in depth, and proposing a model for AA lifecycle development. We will go onto this later on, and putting focus on providing a framework to facilitate collaboration between stakeholders. That means that nowadays in software development, we need multidisciplinary teams that have to work in a coordinated fashion. So it will be very important to know the roles involved in any project, the responsibilities for each of those roles, and the tools that roles have at their disposal to do what they supposed to do. Okay. Also, it's important that the holistic approach I mentioned before, as we have to provide a framework that will mix strategic, tactical, and operational point of view of the industrialization of AA. So So from the research, this is our two main research questions, which is the state of the art on AA, software development lifecycle, and how an holistic approach can be driven by collaborations to be able to embrace that coordination approach I mentioned in the previous slide. So this is the framework, the research framework we have used. We have analyzed the environment. We also have analyzed the knowledge base currently existing about AI economy, AI in general, AI lifecycle management, collaboration engineer, then also the environment, the challenges for developing AA, shortcomings, that kind of things. So we also have balanced the business need and the applicable knowledge with expert interview that have helped us to refine our initial approach so that our research has a mix, has the perfect mix between the knowledge base, the environment assessment, and the expert of the industry partners in this topic. So with challenge, we have found from literature review. First, how to identify and scope problem, then how to prepare and collect data, how to develop a model, how to evaluate and assess and validate that model, how to deploy the model, how maintenance and updated is also a point, and how are you going to help your software to be adopted in your end users. Of course, always keeping cost and resource management optimal. So what information we have found from industry partners? They have highlighted these points: difficulty in the alignment of all project participants of an AA program. That's why defining roles, responsibilities, tasks, and tools are so important. Unnecessary longer and indirect communication way. So we have to optimize the workflows needed to develop any software. We'll need also to trace how things are going on in order to optimize the collaboration, which is something that industry partners are perceiving that sometimes it's break. We have to avoid manual work from some of the process. We have to review the tools because they tend to be difficult to use, and this is very important in my opinion. We tend to design software without end customer needs on mind. You know, and we forget that in any digital transformation initiatives, you have three axes, right? Technology, processes, and people. And people should be in the center of any digital transformation. So the same happens when you are developing software. If you want your software to succeed, to be used for your users, you will need to put your customers on the center. So which are the requirements? Okay, after analysis, all of that, we have named what we call success factors. That are those few key areas that may have paid special attention. Okay, these areas are business requirements, organizational requirements, process requirements, and technical requirements. Structuring all the requirements in such a way will allow us to incorporate those requirements into the framework in a structured approach. So here we made we classify all the requirements we gather from literature review and also from industry and partner in these 4 groups. You have it here. I told you business requirements, organizational requirements, process requirements, technical requirements. You can check later on in the presentation. So let's go to describe the SymbIAG framework. This is the core of the SymbIAG framework. What is important to remark here? Well, first of all, we can find 3 levels or layers that are associated with different views of the process. We find a strategy level, which is a strategic point of view. You can find here a strategy of the corporation that is developing the software, how this corporation lives and interacts in the AI economy and which is its value chain, how that company creates and defines a business model on top of the software they are developing, how you deal with adoption, which is your maturity level, or which is your roadmap. Within this level, we will deal with the strategy, the mission, the vision of the company. Then in the middle layer, we find the tactics layer. This is how which measure, which lines of work we identify, or which tools we are going to which steps we are going to do to reach our to-be situation that is previously defined in the roadmap. Here we can find guidelines, standards, policy, how to build a community on top of our software, the platform, the technological platform I will need to build to build and to put into production that software, which is the architecture, the technological architecture. If the software will be SaaS or if it will be on site, or how it's going to be deployed to our users. And then at the operational level, we have the life cycle, which is the two loops you can see at the center of the picture. We will be later on this. Also important here are the roles. We have identified several roles that act in each of the stages of the AA software life cycle, on operational level, or at tactics level, or strategic level. I mean, these are the generic roles we have identified from our research that at some extent plays some kind of role on several of the stages of the life cycle you can have there. One of the main advantages of these services is that it allows you to approach each of the level with different level of granularity. So if you are now within your strategy, if you are now more focused on operations because you are in a new stage of building your strategy, you are more focused on operations, you can put more focus on life cycle. But if you are a mature company, you can put more focus on strategy. It depends. This is, as I told you, one of the main advantages of our framework. So which are the primary goals of the SymbIAG framework? First, to approach AA services lifecycle management from a collaborative point of view. We have a lot of roles identified that are interacting between each other to provide the main aim of the company, which is the software and the development. It is a service and product focus. Remember that we have 2 loops, the production loop and the consumer loop, so that we can optimize all the tasks on all the stages, focus on how you produce the software, but also how your end users are consuming your software. It has to be discoverable. It has you you have to deal with monetization of your software, that kind of things. Then it has also a strong focus on governance in order to coordinate the different stakeholders involved in the AI software development. You will need to set standards that will govern all the processes so that you have workflows to fully be able to trace what happens since someone decided to expose a data until that data or that service is available in production. And of course, you have to involve the AI service consumers. As I remember that the life cycle has two loops: the one related for production, and the one related with consumption. So as I mentioned, these are the three layers I mentioned before. We have the strategy layers, which is more with the vision and mission of the company. Then the tactical layer, which deals with governance and enablement, and then the operational layer, which is more focused on life cycle. Here you have the description, a brief description of the roles that has been previously identified. And here you have the life cycle stages. I would like to remark the importance of involving the end users. This is the loop formed by stages from 10 to 14, and also the two loops, producer and consumption, are touching themselves. And then the producer life cycle, which is the one between 1 and 9 stages. I must remark here that one of the contributors of this framework is that, okay, if you are used to work with in software development, you will see that this can be or can see the common life cycle, but not. We have added one specific stage here, which is the third, which is compliance. In AA, compliance with regulation, with ethics standards, and so on, plays really a pivotal role and is key for the success of the development. So as main conclusions, yes, we apply an structured research to do that. So it's true that we need to refine our literature review, because the innovation cycles are shorter and shorter each time. There are a lot of innovations and research from the point we started with our research. It's true that it would be great for the SymbIAG framework to ask the help for a more for a wider audience of industry partners. The bigger the number and the diversity of the roles, the better would be our framework. And yeah, also during interviews with industry partners, the procedure was subject to cognitive biases. So of course this impacts in evaluation results. So we have identified these few known limitations. We are aware of that. So that we need to deal with that in a next future. So for the future work, here is what the point we will keep working on. That we'll need specifying new roles. The advances in AA forces us to review the framework from time to time and incorporate not only new stages probably, but also who are responsible of the stages. The model, as I mentioned before, is formed using literature, foundation, and input from per interview, but we need further validation from other companies and other sources. And yeah, in any case, our model accelerates the AI governance and lifecycle management in AI related services. So, okay, that's all, folks. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Come on. Okay, then thank you very much. And please follow me on LinkedIn or contact me, and I will be my pleasure to help you as much as I can.